Hello and welcome. One thing I have really had on my mind that I wanted to make for my shelves and put with my Fantastic Beasts collection is the Zouwu Toy. I have been looking for a long time to try to find one. I did find some on Etsy. They're a little bit more than I was really wanting to pay for what it was. And so I got to looking and I thought, I feel like I can make this. So I took a trip to Hobby Lobby to find some of the things I was going to need, and we are going to attempt to try to make one of these. On Etsy, I was finding them for around $50. And if you can hear someone mowing outside, you guys, I'm sorry. It's just today's the day. And I really wanted to get this video made because I really want to get started on making this. So one thing I knew I needed for the Zouwu Toy, and I'm going to put a picture in right here. If you've seen the Fantastic Beasts movies, you will know that this is what Newt and Tina used to get the attention of the Zouwu, and I really wanted to put one of those on my shelf. So when I went to Hobby Lobby, I went through the different areas to see what I could find, and I'm pretty sure I found close enough items to make this work. So this is the puff ball I ended up getting. It's more of a leopard print puff ball instead of just kind of a brown tone, but I thought this would be great. And it's so odd because to me, it almost looks like I could make eyes right here. And so I was like, okay, I feel like this is going to be what I need. So the one I got actually has this little rubber band piece on the back, and it has a little keychain here. This is the one I got in case you go looking for one. It was $2.49, and they weren't running any kind of specials on this stuff that I got today, but I was okay because the prices really weren't that bad to begin with. And then these are the feathers that I ended up getting. They were $2.79 for this bag, but I feel like this is probably going to be more feathers than what I truly need because I'm not making mine huge. I'm just going to make it a smaller size to fit on my shelf down here. That'll go in pretty good with my demiguise. And my demiguise is about probably 12 to 14 inches tall max. So I want it to be a little bit smaller than he is, I think. So these are the feathers that I got, and the tones are pretty close to the same. We need eyes, so these are the eyes that I ended up getting. These are actually the animal eyes, and they're the yellow tone with the black centers. It has a bell on the back, so these are the bells that I got. I ended up getting this leather piece. It's a vegan leather of a sort, and I was going to get felt put on the back of it to hold my feathers in, and I was going to do a felt ring, glue my feathers on, put another felt ring, and then put a hole in the middle of it for this little piece to go through, and then attach that to my dowel rod, and then the feathers would be around inside those two pieces of felt. But I ended up getting this instead because the bottom half of the dowel rod actually has leather wrapped around it for the handle, and so I could get this piece for $1.49, and then I could use this is about 2 inches round, so I figured I could do two round 2-inch pieces and make strips. But I got those, and then I ended up getting, this was on clearance at Walmart in the crafting section for $1. And so this is the wire I got that I'm going to end up wrapping around the back to attach my bells with. This is going to be on the back, and I'm really just going to see the other since I'm not using it as an actual toy. I'm just using it for a prop replica. So that is what I got. I just have some Eileen's craft glue that I'm going to use to put my feathers in. And my dowel rod is one of the really long ones, so I'm going to end up cutting it down, but I'm not going to cut it yet until I get through making this so I can see exactly how long I want it to be. I want it to come up into this, but I don't want it to come out the top for sure because I don't want to see it on the back side. So I just want it to come up a little bit, but then I'm not sure exactly how long I want it to be because I want to see how wide my feathers are first so that I know that my stick is not too short or too long. So I'm going to wait on cutting it until we get done with everything else and then make that executive decision. Let's get started. So I now have my 2 circles cut out. So I just took it and put it down, and I kind of just drew around it, just kind of etched it out. It doesn't matter that it's not a perfectly round one because we're literally just going to be using this for the back of it. So I just went ahead and did that. I realized that my hole punch is actually 3 inches and it was going to be too big. Okay, and I just try to give you a little bit better visual of what I'm actually doing here. And we have our feathers. I'm just going to open these feathers up here and try to pull out some that I think will be really good. So my bottom pieces, I want to be longer, and I want my feathers to face up so that it kind of comes up and around the toy. And then the ones that I do on top, I want them to be shorter. And I'm going to start with kind of my lighter colors, but longer ones. I think I may actually end up kind of mixing these together, which is just fine because that'll end up bringing out multiple different colors, which is another thing that I'm really wanting. It says they're duck, but I think it's a lot of different pieces, like tail and then wing and so forth. Okay, so I'll put all of my long feathers around the outer edges, and I used a lot of the glue, just kind of stuck them down real good. And then I took all of these shorter, fluffier feathers and kind of went all along the inside. Now I went ahead and put these two pieces together, and I just sandwiched glue all in between it, and then I'm just kind of poking them in. So at this point, I'm going to just take some of these really short ones and just kind of push them in there as well. So this is simply what I'm doing, is just have a lot of this glue in here, and I'm just pulling this up a little bit and pushing this back down. So I'm just using like these little bitty ones now just to kind of go in here to give me a little color kind of up here at the edges, because I'm going to cut this off. And we'll be able to take this piece off too. I'm just going to bend it and take that out of there. But I want color around this as well, not just all out here. I have one little short feather out here on the outer edges. I'm going to put that down by the bottom. And so that's how I know where my bottom is. So now I am putting a hole directly in the center to where I can put the elastic from the puffball all the way through. I ended up cutting a small piece of wire and threading it through the back. I have now taken my scissors and poked holes in through the front for the eyes. They have screw backs on them, so I was able to just thread them through directly into the slots that I wanted them. At this point, I am basically looking to make sure that I have all the feathers that I want in there. I feel as though I need a few more long ones, but I don't really have many more of the long ones to put around there. So in my next trip to Hobby Lobby, I may pick up another package of feathers just to where I can thicken the back. This is the dowel rod I ended up picking up. It is 36 inches long, and I cut it into a 12-inch stick. So you could technically end up making 3 Zouwu toys out of one stick. I put my elastic over the top of the dowel rod, and I took a small piece of wire and went around the back and ended up hooking 2 of the bells on. My dowel rod is not cut smooth, but that is okay. I am going to end up putting leather over the bottom of it and then wrapping it. After cutting the piece to cover the bottom, I am now going to start cutting strips to wrap around the handle. After gluing the leather on the base, I am now taking the leather strips, going to wrap them around the handle. These are photos of the final outcome. What would you do different? What do you think about it? Is this something you would want to add to your collection? Please leave a comment down below. And with that being said, we hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.